Moments are required to turn a catch-up into a night out. If questions like this have crossed your mind, then you're in good company. Today we'll be taking a closer look at some of the daily habits and social conventions that make up the monotony of life. Let's commit to sucking on a lolly right to the end and halfway through bite straight into it. Grab your knitting needles and a blanket because it's time for three old friends to sit around and sew a new patch into their quilt of friendship. So join me, Dion, under the covers with Christian.
Welcome to Patchwork.
And Josh.
Welcome to Patchwork.
Oh, well, before we get started, this feels a lot different with 6 weeks break. My vocal cords are very, very lubed and calm.
You're saying they've repaired in the time off?
Absolutely. They've been doing a bit of exercise. They've been toning a little bit and doing sort of presses
I was
and
doing
whatever.
some yodeling for a while.
Yeah, see, I'm well rehearsed. I've been living with Josh and I'm ripe for arguing.
But it's really, really good to get back into recording once again. We've really missed it. We've really missed you. So we hope to hear from you when you get the chance on our social media or however you want to get in contact with us.
That's the collective you, right?
That is the, yeah, I was just talking to
Not
Christian.
you specifically listening to this.
No, I was talking to you, Christian.
Oh,
That's
me?
it. Yeah, that's it.
And not a female sheep.
But yeah, I wanted to sort of check in with you guys and take this opportunity before we get started to find out the sort of crap that you've been doing the last 6 weeks, because I've discovered a new love, but it's a new love that I know absolutely nothing about, and that is gardening. I have no idea what I'm doing in the garden, and I feel like it's one of those things where I will never understand all of the different elements.
So has this come about because obviously we've been locked down, you've been limited for movement, and all of a sudden you've said, well, I'm going to make the most of the space that I have.
Yeah,
I look out my window, there's a garden there, I got to do something with it.
Yeah, and whenever I think about this kind of thing, I'm like, my first thought is that it can't be that hard, can it? It can't be that hard. It's always hard. It's always difficult. And no matter how much research you do as well, it's kind of like you're always stuffing something up.
Do you know why we think it can't be that hard? Because the other day, I was just emptying buckets of soil and I left a little pile of soil just in the corner, in the wedge between a couple of little pots, and all of a sudden, a fucking plant started growing out of that little pile of soil. Now, if a plant can thrive there, surely it can't be that hard.
Yeah, but it's like every little thing in the garden is difficult.
Can I just get a bit of a scene setter, Dion?
Yep.
Your backyard, are we talking mainly paved with garden bed around the side? We talking full lawn?
No.
We talking AstroTurf?
It's the mainly paved with garden bed at the back, but looking to transform it. But even then, that garden bed, full of weeds, full of like bushes that
full of opportunity.
Yes.
But even pulling out weeds, like that's a difficult job.
No,
you know what? Josh, I reckon you'd really like
I
it.
did something the other day.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah, because I've on the nice sunny day, I'm taken to just sitting outside. I'm like, you have the time now in your life. You can sit outside on a sunny day. And so I whipped the top off, got stuck into some weeding.
Oh, wow.
You did whip the top off. Yeah. Try coming down from a busy morning, looking outside and just seeing this big beacon of light.
But Josh, when you're weeding, I feel like you're always trying to find the last pathway, the last route. And when you get to that, like sometimes you'll get like, and I'm talking big, deep weeds. Do you get satisfaction out of doing that? You know what I mean? Finding that last one, that fresh little white boy.
Well, yeah, there's the two elements of it. There's the element of sometimes it snaps off and you're like, I haven't gone deep enough.
Yes.
That is coming back
What do you
tomorrow.
do? What's your tenacity like in that situation?
If you've got the gloved fingers on, I'll really try and dig in there and make sure I really do pull out the root. But it's more so like the stemmy bit that can snap. You have to go just below that.
Yeah, right.
So you've got to see tendrils. You've got to see some little.
If I snap a second time, I'm giving up.
Really?
Yeah,
because you have to applaud its tenacity at that point.
Well, then you're not giving up. You're giving it a round of applause. I don't. That would be so funny to see you coming down. It's almost a patch. So you coming down and to see Josh just going like this.
That was amazing.
Really
he stayed
good.
in there. I gave it two goes, and he's still there.
But also like that concept of Roundup, that horrible thing that causes horrible things in the human body. But people used to use it because it's way easier. But now, I'm not going to use any of that stuff. I'm going to go in and get it myself.
You're going completely free of pesticides.
I mean, I don't know
what
what else can you do? Is there any other options?
Like I did, you buy a crop dusting plane and just over your suburb.
Great idea. A little drone. No. Just the idea of a little drone. Or a little drone in your backyard.
Imagine that North by Northwest.
Yeah, Dale's going to go Agent Orange over the entire suburb of Thornbury.
But Christian, I know that you grew up with this stuff, with your non-nor. And like just everything. Do you go seed? Do you go seedling? The components of soil, all the things like there's so much to know. There's so much to stuff up.
Before we get to Christian, what is the plan? Are you wanting to get flowery stuff, tree stuff, self-sufficient food stuff, just so we can set that a little bit?
Yeah. It's like vegetables. Just wanting veggies, wanting to go into the backyard and pick out a mini cuke.
Yeah.
Do you have advice on that, Christian?
On the mini cukes?
Surely you do.
I remember spending a lot of time with Nonno in the garden, but I don't think that I've learnt a great deal about gardening. It's just there's a lot of it that I see is by touch. Like people tend to forget that the most important thing is soil.
Yeah.
People focus so much on the plant itself, and you're like, if the soil has no life, your plant won't grow. So focus more on the soil.
It's this encyclopedic knowledge that I do not have. Same with you with the gardening, Christian and Nonno. It's like there's stuff that he hasn't read in a book. He just knows these things, right?
The most amazing thing that he said the other day, which is when I really was like, okay, you know more than I actually thought. I said to him, do you want me, because obviously he's getting old now and he can't buy his own seedlings. And so I said, do you want me to buy you some tomato seedlings? Because, we're approaching the season. And he said, it's still too cold. You need to wait for there to be 10 nights above 10 degrees temperature. And then that's when I'll get you to buy me some.
Perfect. That is so good. That's
Unbelievable.
So good. But who did he learn this from, Christian?
But also, who's taking the pulse of the temperature on a nightly basis?
No, he's just clocking it. I mean, he wouldn't does he have a phone as well? Like, does he, or I guess he'd watch Channel 7 News.
I just find it amazing, right? So he's working that out either in the morning or in the middle of the night. He's waking up in a cold sweat, being like, it's 12 degrees. This is night 6. We're on the way.
I must begin preparing.
It also made me think when I was younger, I never ever considered as a part-time job working at Bunnings or Mitre 10 or Masters. I never ever considered it. And I think I would have loved it. I think it would have been fundamental grounding to the man that I am today.
I wonder how much training is given on the job to be like, you need to know how to do X, Y, Z to help people. Or it's like we hire people who know how to do that stuff.
I don't know. I thought,
You're hoping you'd get trained.
Yeah.
You're hoping Bunnings would give you life skills to do some home improvement.
You're hoping that Bunnings would be your dad.
Yeah, that's true. No, I'm wanting, and I feel like I would have loved it. It never entered my mind. Did you ever consider working at Bunnings?
No, it's pretty big though. I was a supermarket boy.
Oh, that's right.
And all that taught me was how to navigate a supermarket really quickly.
Are you good at navigating supermarket quickly?
I kind of have when I visit a supermarket, this is amazing. When I visit a supermarket I've never been to before, I have a pretty good idea of what things might be clumped together.
Oh, that's good.
No, that's average. What do you mean that's good? As if you can't tell that.
No.
Okay, ready? Watch this. Where are you going to find the corn chips, Dion?
Chips.
I could answer and say, well, there'll be 2 places that you'll likely find corn chips. Josh, where are those 2 places?
With the soft drink.
Thank you.
And also probably with the breads, you might be around there.
No, I disagree with that. I'd say with the chips, you got your low quality corn chips, and then with the Mexican food
in the international section.
Cuisines, yeah.
I think that this is one of the first times we've ever come up with a short form patchwork game live in the show. No, seriously, don't laugh. We will play this.
We had one of our Patreons email us in the last couple of weeks. So thanks very much. We always love hearing from you guys. So make sure you reach out. It's always a thrill to get those messages and those emails. Asking for a bit of advice. Now, they've got a housemate. I think, Dion, you've got the email there. But essentially, their housemate has suggested something to them and still taking credit for it. Dion?
Yeah, so basically, the patron wrote in and wrote, when I first moved in with my housemate, she saw me using almond and soy milk and made the passing comment, you should try oat milk. Now that I have tried oat milk, I use it most mornings in my coffee. Every morning since, she says something along the lines of, aren't you glad I suggested it? Or you like oat milk even more than I do. Good thing I told you about it. So yeah, really on her back about it. She mentions, I should also say that this has been going on for slightly over a year now.
A year?
Yeah, and she's trying to take credit for suggesting it to me. This is what our patron writes, but it's like she fucking invented it. I can understand a comment at first, maybe even a second time, but this has gone on for way too long. Very strange behaviour.
A year is so long.
I think that if it's a really niche product, like
Yep.
let's say oat milk is not a niche product anymore, okay?
Yep.
If it's something super niche and you say you've got to try this, and that person, it becomes a really big part of their life, I think you could maybe raise it once and go, look at that. See, I told you.
I don't know, because there's a lot of milks out there. And I'm really, I'll have one milk and then I'll forget how bad. Like, I think I've had almond milk once. I was like, this tastes like shit. And I know that there's milks and milks. Don't jump down my throat.
Big Dairy will be on you soon.
Yeah, I know. But I feel like if someone was to give specifically a milk recommendation to me and it was really good, yeah, I probably wouldn't chase it down for a year, I wouldn't think.
I agree with Christian, the idea of the more generic it is, the less credit you can take. The more specific it is, the more credit you can take.
Yes, but I guess the extension of that, Josh, is can you be the person who asks for the credit to be recognized? Can you be the housemate saying, well, I've introduced you to this oat milk. You should never be that person, right?
I think it's
Yeah.
a little bit of one of those being a bit cheeky and be like, "You're enjoying that new thermos, aren't you?
Yes.
You know, that thermos that I recommended that was...
Thermos.
I say thermos.
I don't think they say thermos, do they?
I don't think thermos say thermos.
But the idea of like, if it's a product or something, I think it's a bit of a cheeky nudge. I don't know how genuine you're like, feed me
Yeah.
the praise.
Well, what's behind it? Why do you think that housemate is saying? Like, why do they need that praise?
You know what? There's nothing for them to talk about because they live together.
Yes.
Oh, do you
They're
think
done.
so? Really?
They've been living together for too long.
I know. I think they must be a loser. Can I say...
Or a listener to this podcast.
In which case, they're also a loser. No, could I say, I think that the only time that I expect to be called out for credit for a recommendation that I've given is if I'm in a group of people and the person whom I've recommended something is talking about that thing. I anticipate that they're going to be like, and a quick tip of the hat off to the side to Christian.
Yep.
He's recommended this one.
Or similarly, if they're getting, say it's a particular phone case as an example, and someone compliments on that, I go, that's a really great case. Then you should also get it. Like, yeah, Christian recommended it.
Yes.
Is there a duty in that case?
If you're around,
Yep.
yes.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, if you're in the room.
If
right?
you're there, absolutely there's a duty. If you're not, you take it.
And should I, if there is that duty and it's not, and that duty isn't played out, do I have the right to say something in that situation?
Ooh,
about how you
very
say it
good
as well.
question.
But what you would do that thing of like, yeah, it's pretty good, isn't it? I bet it's the person who told you about that.
but are you going to say that?
Nah, I probably wouldn't
How
bother, would
petty is that?
Do you know what? More and more, though, I feel like this is at work as well. If someone has a good idea about something, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter who owns it. It's just all about if they get the benefit from it. I'm slowly learning that, but I'm still getting there.
One of the things that I hate the most in life is when I have put an idea out. Let's say that a time has passed, and then that same group of people organically then think that they've come up with the same idea. Yeah. I never feel like I can be like, I think it's petty to be like, well, I actually suggested this a couple of weeks ago.
I completely agree with you, Christian. I completely agree, and I had the same idea last week.
It's hell, especially in a creative endeavor. Like, I feel like there's a few times that we'll do it and we'll go and I'll sit and go, oh, I'm so sure that I came up with that.
Yes.
But I don't, there's no point to me interjecting with that right now.
Well, we can canvas this right now. Who came up with really good?
Me.
Did you though?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you did. You did.
Because we've got the messages to prove it.
Go back to recommendations for a second though. Stuff like TV shows or movies or any kind of media like that or music or something, I find that I kind of downplay that. I don't get too into it. And I think you kind of get like one mention after they get back to you that they like it. Hey, started listening to that thing, started watching that thing, really enjoying it. Great. But beyond that, maybe like the one other time you see them and it comes up.
But you shouldn't have to, like, so for instance, Josh, if I recommend a documentary to you and you watch it, and then I check in with you 2 weeks later and say, how did you watch that documentary? And you were like, yeah,
I loved it.
Yeah, it was great. I feel like you probably
should have told you.
should have told me that you watched it.
Ooh. Shit.
What do you think? Do you think? Do you agree with that? Christian, I tell you about a restaurant and you go and don't tell me? That's an awful thing to do.
Okay, how's this, right?
God.
You recommended that I buy that package of olive oil that was free, actually the free delivery.
Great. Oh, perfect.
And I didn't want to tell you that I took it up until it came in the mail.
Why?
So I could take the photo of it and be like, look what I got, as a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, that's true.
But I agree. It feels so nice when the person, like, let's say I've recommended a song onto someone and then they screenshot the song that's playing. They go, love it, listening to it now.
Yep.
What a feeling, right?
Yeah, that's a lovely
That's the
feeling.
validation.
That you love that shit as well, Josh. Recommending a DJ or a song or something.
Well,
you
I was
love
going
it.
to say, on a micro scale, when you post a YouTube link or something in a group chat, and then you talk to people like a week later, and they're like, oh yeah, I watched it. It was so awesome. I was like, I'd love to know that the clip I posted was viewed by someone.
Yes.
What about in terms of recommendations? I think you get big instant gratification if it's a menu item or a drink. You're out somewhere and someone goes, oh, you should try this drink
Brilliant.
here.
Love it.
They do a really good
Yep.
Manhattan.
Yes.
And you go, great, I'll get it.
Yep.
And then you get, I think for rest of the night, you can get pretty big ups for that.
Josh, just remind us what goes into a Manhattan.
Nope, not gonna do that.
What about a recommendation that goes wrong?
Oh, now that's a TV show. Recommendations gone wrong.
Do they remind you that you failed them before? Actually, that's more pervasive, isn't it? Because once you've let someone down with the recommendation, your trust is compromised.
I remember once I was in a job and I recommended someone for that job, and I was like, I think you'll be really good, and then I sort of prime them. They didn't get past the first hurdle. They were like, nah, no good at all.
But that's
but the problem with that is it murders your credibility. Like it kills it.
Yeah. Or as in, like, you're meant to be foot in the door guy? Or...
Yeah, I know, but for the company, I'm like, hey, I want to recommend someone good, and then they
right,
interview
of
and they're like,
course.
no, this
I
guy's
think
useless.
I think the key is to make sure that you've refined the scope of your credibility being lost to just jobs. Don't go to Dion for jobs. Go to him for everything else. He will fuck you with jobs.
I think, as a comment, and I don't think I'm speaking out of turn here, Dion, but something specific with you that I found really interesting in terms of partner recommendations and romantic connections. I think your only criteria is single.
No, what? Yes, it is. No.
Yes,
Single and intuition. No, that's not true. I've done
Single
it.
and intuition.
No, I've done it. I've.
I think you come from. Thank you so much for listening to Welcome Back. I think it comes from a really good place in that you see single person, and it's like that idea of bringing friends together.
Well, it's like,
right?
I love this person.
Yes.
You guys would be great together.
Yeah.
But I don't think you go the extra step that goes, would these people actually be great together?
No, but that's because the matching romantic connection is impossible. You can never know if two people are going to be romantically connected to each other. Like, they might be friends or have good banter or something.
That's a really good point, that it's almost like, you guys figure it out.
Yeah.
Here's a nice connection I think's pretty great.
Here's
You guys
a
work it out.
warm lead.
Yeah.
And that is very important with intimate connections, I think.
Warm leads.
Yeah. Well, the idea that you've been vetted, right?
Oh, 100%.
So then the question is, say the couple gets together, how long are you taking credit for that relationship?
Great. That's a great... and what is a permissible length of the relationship? If they've been going out 6 months, is that a success? Is that a success? Or does it need to be bloody marriage?
Yeah, no, to be honest, I don't think you ever need to take credit. All you need to do is longingly look at the both of them, and they'll know. They'll be reminded every time you look at them and go...
And then and then see, in my head, that's you looking at that, then turning around, walking into the sunset. My work here is done.
Flipping a coin,
I think you've got one chance to bring it up, and like when they're a few months in, like things are going great.
Yep.
You're like, geez, I'm so glad I introduced you to da-da-da. And then your next opportunity is probably at the wedding speech, right?
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Do they owe you something? Obviously it's that, but like that's an amazing, like, because my folks introduced their friends to each other 50 years ago, and it was their thing. They introduced them, and like, they mention it all the time.
What's the price you can put on a relationship then?
Oh, 2,000?
That's the going rate. The blue book value.
That's what Dion recommends to anyone. Hey, man, I could be in for $2,000 here.
Wait, where's my 2K?
So head to our socials. We've got a matrix of all the different ways that you can recommend.
6 months, it's $1,000. as we reach this midway point of this episode, I think it's important that we test that our microphones are actually working. Josh, did you want to make sure that your microphone was working?
Yeah, do we have a theme for the sound checks this week?
Yes, we do. It's bottled water brands.
Oh, bottled water brands.
Brands of bottled water.
Great.
All right. Cool Ridge is Ridgy Didge. Cool Ridge is Ridgy Didge. Yeah, I think I'm sounding pretty good, Dion.
That's sounding good.
The German tourist who bought the...
Oh, Dion, why do you always fuck the games up?
Hang on. The German tourist who bought the bottled water brand Voss just paid to enter that Schloss. The German tourist who bought the bottled water brand Voss just paid to enter that Schloss.
Schloss at Voss is very good. How you got there?
I know, it's so long.
Dion got confused with nursery rhymes.
Christian, how about your mic?
Sure. Without my pump, I become a real grump. Without my pump, I become a real grump.
God.
Dion and Josh, something that I've been thinking about over the last 6 weeks where I haven't been leaving the house is as we gradually re-enter society, I keep, romanticizing this idea of a night out. But more and more we understand that we're only going to be able to have a few people.
Yep.
And I'm wondering how many people make up a night out? And when does it go from being catching up to a night out?
It's a quorum. Is that the word?
When do we have quorum for night out?
I think number is important, but attitude is very, very right up there. I think generally you probably, night out, you probably want to be able to do 2 groups. So I think you maybe want a minimum of 4.
Wait, what?
You want to be able to do 2 groups?
As in you could have 2 conversations going.
Oh.
You can go off in pairs. I'll go to
split.
the bar with so-and-so. I'll stay here. Like, you kind of can do multiple group stuff.
no.
So you're saying that a group of 3 can't have a night out?
I'm not...
3 can have a night out.
Yeah, look, 3 can have a night out.
Yeah.
Well, we could have a night out.
2 can have a night out.
They can, but I think...
I mean, 0 could have a night out.
I think the 4 elevates it to be like, there's traction here.
A night
Yes.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's real
Yeah,
traction.
I kind of feel as though I agree with you, Josh, that it's a sentiment. A night out is a sentiment rather
state of
than
mind.
a number. But I do think that it's important that you have a night out when the group has a label. So when you say it's a night out with the guys, as opposed to a night out with Josh and Dion.
Oh,
No.
interesting.
It's a night out with the netball team.
Yep.
It's a night out.
What about the volume of? What about the volume of the night? Can you have a quiet night out? You can have a quiet night
No,
in.
you can't have a quiet
You can't have a quiet night out.
Dion, if the music's too loud, you're too old.
Yes. No. I don't think you can have a quiet night out. Is that catching up?
I don't know. A quiet night in's a thing.
How many people?
Exactly.
Yeah, how many people's a catch up? You can only have, I think, a
Two-
catch up
two.
is 2 to 3, right?
But a catch up is like hour and a half, right? Tops. You can't.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a catch up.
Oh,
Catch up because catch up's got it's got brevity to it, right?
Yeah, it's a quick catch up.
I think what you were saying, getting to Dion as well about, I don't think you can have a night out at home. I think it has to be an outdoor venue.
Yeah. We were on the path to cracking this code, and you're saying you can't be out if you're in.
Listen. He's just establishing fundamentals.
We've all been in lockdown.
Yeah.
Well, the question is, can you have a night out during lockdown?
Exactly.
Have you had a night out?
I
during
haven't had a
lockdown?
night out. I've had a big night.
Have you? In lockdown, you've had a big night.
Not this most recent one. I'm kind of desperate for it. But we've had some big nights. Last year, we had a few big nights in lockdown.
Ooh, that sounds
I
very
fell asleep
fun.
on the staircase.
I think one of the other key factors with the night out, I love your point about the title of the group, Christian. I think also there needs to be some element of getting ready. So
Yes.
for a night out, you have
Excellent.
to get ready, be it your clothes, be it your
That's true.
shaving,
There's-
you're
there's
spraying
all-
yourself
Bit of a
with...
tss, tss, tss.
Yep.
A night out is
consideration.
predetermined.
Yes.
A catch up can be quick. A catch up, what kind of clothes are you wearing to a catch up? It's whatever you had on before the catch up, right?
Also, like, you're not going straight from social netball that night to a night out. That's not happening.
No way.
So it's looking.
You're going home first.
Yeah, you have to start from home for a night out.
Oh.
You establish a home base. Well, okay, sorry. You have to start from a home. Doesn't need to be your home.
Yeah, do you have to? Does the group, does the guys or the girl, do they have to meet somewhere first, or can they meet at the venue? I like the travel together is a pretty good signifier of a night out.
I would think so.
Yeah, I feel like a night out never has or rarely has a single venue.
Yes, this is true.
A
Very
night
true.
out, I feel like the label implies that there's going to be multiple stops along
agree.
the way.
And can we talk about activities on the night out?
Oh, hang on. Before we do, just in terms of what you're wearing, Josh,
sorry.
like for a night out, are there some no-nos for a night out?
Um,
On a warm summer day, you could wear a t-shirt. It's got to be a nice, crisp t-shirt.
Could you call them night out no-nos?
Imagine if Nono did this list.
Nono's night out no-nos. Night out no-nos with Nono.
Imagine it was like a radio DJ. Nights with Nono.
No, Nono's no-nos. We're coming up with games.
Yes, great.
We are back, baby.
The no-no, I think in terms of clothing, it's pretty sure I'm going to have a collar on.
Yep.
There's going to be a collar on that shirt. The shirt length, it might be a short sleeve or a long sleeve. That depends on the weather. That's not up to me.
Canvas shoes, or do they need to be made from an animal?
I've got I'm happy to wear sneakers out.
Yeah, but I mean, is that acceptable?
For me and my style.
No, I'm saying for the definition, and we'll see if you fit into it.
I think you can have your going out sneakers, right?
Yes.
You got to have your going out.
I've come around to this more and more as we've gotten older. Especially, I'm a reformed piece of shit. And I used to wear, wog tappers.
Oh,
and
yeah.
What's the tappers?
No, not tappers.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I wore small plates.
couple of different shoes.
But it's a toe at a time.
Tappers like those leather shoes with the points that go towards a point. They're basically triangles.
Yeah, the Spanish ones.
The ones that the Wicked Witch was wearing when she was under the house.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, on a night out.
On an Italian. Yeah. So I used to wear them, but again, I think I've reformed, and now like a night out is a sneaker. Like I really want to be comfortable on a night out.
What do you think, Josh? If it's a sneaker and a hoodie, you're in trouble.
A hoodie? I don't think a hoodie's making the night out.
A sweater?
Ooh, I probably wouldn't. I'd rather a jacket, some sort of zip or button.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Everything needs to come together in the center.
Yeah.
So it's a shirt, it's a pair of
And
shoes.
you probably know why. It's because you don't want to, maybe this doesn't apply to you, Christian, you don't want to disrupt your hair as you take the clothes off, right, for the dance floor.
Are you guys, when you're going to a night out, are you thinking about the temperature on the way to the night out, or are you more thinking about the temperature when you get there?
Well, I think that there's going to be a point in your night during the night out where you will be in the elements.
Yes.
There will be a point where you're walking between places where you need to have factored in the weather for the night.
Are you happy being freezing between? Like, I'm not willing to compromise on that at all.
Can I just say, there are some people that you'll see on a night out, their night out, with their group, wearing nothing.
Yeah, it's amazing.
But seemingly not affected by the weather.
I think it's just they've got in their heads that they want to look good. This is what they want to wear. It doesn't matter.
And they don't want a cloak. That's it.
Yeah.
They don't want a cloak.
Okay.
I factor in heavily where we're probably going to go. And sometimes more recently, I've gone more the route of I'm going to be jumping in an Uber. I'm going to be jumping out of an Uber. I'm not going to go anywhere that's got an hour-long line. That's not my style,
way.
guys.
No way.
So it's like I've sometimes foregone the jacket because I'm like, I'll just be going venue to Uber to venue, home kind of thing.
I'm with you. Or just a light jumper.
But what I also identify is like if I'm going to be popping some headphones in and having a bit of a dance back home, got to bring the jacket for that.
Wait, a dance back home? That solidies the night out.
Can I just say, a night out often involves, for me as well, bringing headphones in my pocket.
Yes, because you know it's going to get to that point
Because I know
eventually.
that by the end of the night, I'm going to be like, I need to leave here, but I want to listen to something on the way home.
And Josh, typically this conversation goes to the duration of the night. How late does a night? Can you have a night out and finish up at 10:30?
I think a night
PM?
out. I think a night out has to go past midnight. Ideally, a night out should not finish before 1 a.m., I think.
Wow.
Christian?
I think I tend to agree, but now I know that I don't enjoy a night out. A night out is few and far between for me, but I love the in-between a catch-up and a night out. What is that? A get-together?
It's like it's a lovely buzz that you get from a little, I don't know what
friends,
it is. I don't know
like a group of friends in the one venue, like starts with dinner, have a few drinks, and then by about midnight, see you later. Back to our homes.
Yeah. You know what it is?
What's that?
It's mutual understanding. That's what it is. It's a mutual understanding that if you all disband at that time, you've had a lovely night together, that's it. And
It's a lovely night.
It's a lovely night.
It's a
There
lovely
it is.
night.
A lovely night out.
You know what? But you know what kind of is maybe a tipping point of that, which I quite like, Christian, is sometimes when there's a big enough group, you'll get the splinter groups.
Good.
Hey guys, I'm off.
Oh.
Great having dinner, great having a few drinks. We're off. Hey guys, we're going to go for a dance.
Yeah.
If anyone wants to do that, we're doing that.
If anyone wants to have a night out, come and join the
Keep
main
going.
group.
Keep
The
going.
Peloton.
Peloton?
I'm happy to be in the group that falls away.
In the slipstream and you just disappear off the back.
Josh, I love how I'm turning to Josh for inspiration here. Josh, what about amount of money that you spend? Do you need to spend money to have a night out?
I think money is irrelevant on the night out. I think you should be prepared. For me, if it's a genuine night out, I don't really factor in money at all.
Okay.
I just put it down.
Meaning you don't, like, you're happy with spending whatever. It's just going to be...
Because they're not super rare. I'm not doing it every week, right? So I go, hey, unless it's like when you plus 20 on an entrance fee, that's when I'm stopping and pulling up.
How many places still doing that?
Absolutely.
Isn't it unbelievable? You can download an app and you'll go, oh, fuck, 99 cents. This is so expensive. I'm willing to drop $20
I know.
on a
Crazy.
shit place.
But you've got to be guaranteed you're going to have a good time, be there for a few hours. But in terms of stuff that happens on it, can a night out have no dancing?
Yes.
I think so.
I would think so.
But there has to be music at some point. And it
Yes.
has to be too loud.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know about too loud. I don't like shouting into people's ears. I think you can have a night out with music in the background where you can comfortably
But
talk.
I feel like shouting in ears is quintessential in the night out.
Actually, yeah, that's a pretty good point.
Yeah, it's a pretty good point. Why is that quintessential?
I think for
what is it
me,
about that?
personally, a night out must involve, this is personal, okay? But it must, at one point in that night, I must feel like a cigarette is a good idea.
Really?
I don't smoke. I just want to be clear with everyone. I don't smoke.
Oh, no. None of us ever will and have. No.
But it at one point in the night, I'll smell it. And I'll go, that's a good idea.
But that's because that cigarette it's the downtime, right? It's that opportunity. It's the recharge.
Yeah.
It's the little flashing red light on a Formula One car when it's
when it's charging.
When it's charging. Learnt that last week.
I think another key ingredient as well is that no one who's part of the night out can have other plans for that evening.
It's disappointing when it happens,
I like
isn't it?
that.
Yeah, there can't be something else you're running off to.
Yeah, that's it.
That's more important. It's like, no, the night out, that is your evening.
But hang on, I want to challenge that, Josh.
I don't. I think that is key.
Okay,
I think that's absolutely
then I'm going
key.
to challenge the both of you.
Okay.
Doesn't a cameo or multiple cameo appearances from friends add to it being a night out? Because there are scenes. Think about a night out being a theatrical performance. Let's say that Dion's 2 hours. Oh yeah, Act 1. Christian made an appearance after he came back from that night. Act 2.
Most people
Josh
leave
by
after that,
himself. Act 3.
I think the key distinguisher there is for the cameo appearances, that's not a night out. For the core group who has them
Correct.
come into their sphere, it's their night out.
Yes, and it adds to it being the night out.
Yes, it does.
Shake my hand, Josh. Good to see you, mate, and good to see you.
Thank you, Christian.
Really, really good. You know what's really, really good? Really, really good. You know what's really, really good?
You know what's really good? A half-open bottle of wine that still tastes good.
Oh,
really good.
Really good. You know what's really good? When you time your arrival for a pickup order exactly when your order is ready.
Really good. It's so really good.
And you know what's really good? The moment immediately after you spit out the food that was choking you.
Really good. Really good. Really good. You know what's really
Bum, 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 bum.
Thank you so much for listening to another patch. It's been absolutely wonderful being back and seeing you boys. I have loved it. Just a reminder, if you do want to support the show, there's never been a better time aside from the 3.5 years preceding. So if you want to go to patreon.com/welcome to patchwork, we've been getting some really, really lovely feedback on a patch that we just recorded. It's a 20-minute patch. It's a bumper patch. And we talk about how we've been going in lockdown and yeah, how the experience has been for us. And people have been writing in and saying really, really lovely things. So if you'd like to have a listen, head to patreon.com/welcome to patchwork. Sign up and you'll get a new feed in your podcast app.
If you'd like to see some of the other things that we're saying and doing, you can follow us on all of our social media accounts. We're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we're on Discord. Josh mans the desk most of the time. Thank you very much, Josh. And hopefully soon we'll be doing some stuff on Twitch. So Patchwork is going to be coming at you from all angles. Good luck avoiding us.
There's also never been a better time to tell someone that you like our show other than the last 3.5 years. So please, if someone needs a pickup in these shitty times, put them onto Welcome to Patchwork. It's sure to pick you up.
Just a quick little shout out to Game Boys. We've got a little digital Fringe show coming up at Fringe. We had to pivot because the in-person stuff got canned, so that show's canned. But we got Hey, it's Lockdown.
Oh, of course.
It's going to be on. So good fun variety show, a couple Friday nights during Fringe.
Would like to take credit as well that I did tell Josh that his Fringe show would be cancelled, and you said, nah, no chance.
And as we do every week, we sew a new patch into our quilt of friendship. Josh, what patch did you sew into our quilt this week?
Thank you, Dion. My patch this week was Christian on the dance floor holding a bag of dirt, insisting that it's the soil that is the most important part of a night out. Christian, what patch did you sew this week?
Thank you, Josh. This week, I sewed into my patch Dion, flicking to the chapter on weeds in his newly purchased copy of Gardening No-Nos by Non-Milk. And Dion, what did you sew into your patch this week?
My patch this week is me finding a PVC drainage pipe while I'm gardening made from old water bottles. And of course, I know the pipe is made from old water bottles because PVC stands for Pump, Voss and Coolridge. Thank you for listening to Welcome to Patchwork for another week. I've been Dion.
I've been Josh.
And I've been Christian.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. It's so long.
I know, it was meant to be long. It was meant to be stupid and funny and long.
I spilled my bottle of Voss all over the Schloss.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's better.
Night out?
Yep.
That's way better. I think I might use that.